Hello everyone and welcome to another Starfield shipbuilding guide. Today, Dig Industries has a special treat for you all. Maybe a little bit of your evil side here. But without further ado, I introduce you all to the Dark Scythe. The video crew over at HQ always nails those intros. Let's jump into the stats here on the Dark Scythe. Let's start right at the top with 630 fuel. It's slightly more than the 510 fuel required if your skills are maxed out to jump across the whole galaxy. Just a little bit extra, get you where you need to go. We've got the hull of 1591. It's a little bit higher than we normally do, but pretty standard for a Class C ship. We have a cargo of 14,100, a little bit higher compared to most of the Dig Industry ships. However, it does come at slight cost of mobility, which is only at 80 compared to 100 on a lot of our ships, with a top speed of 130. But we believe at Dig Industries that 80 maneuverability is more than enough to still kick everything's ass in space. We heard your request to bring back the shielded cargo when we removed it for the Zagara 2, so you have a nice capacity of 160 here, so you don't have to worry about those nice little patrols scanning you. If you forget you got some contraband on you, we know you heroes, you like to pick up everything you see. Some of it's not really approved in the inner systems. Got that tried and true pinch reactor in here giving us 40 power, 11 crew even though the max you're legally allowed to have in space is 8, jump range of 30, that is just standard nowadays. Somewhere in the shield, Sextant Shields is having some quality control issues, so this ship's at 3840. Sometimes you're a little bit lower, down around the 3200 mark, and if that's the case, we can compensate you with some credits, or we can try and get you a better shield from Sextant. Their customer service is really hard to deal with though, so we'll take that burden on for you. We're still rocking the normal 12 weapons. This is another banger of a ship here. It costs 868,000 credits to afford this thing, so it'd be safe to come into this build with somewhere around 900,000 credits again, kind of like my Zagaras. And to wrap it all up, we have 4,931 mass, one of the heaviest Dig Industry ships to date. Let's quickly go over the pilot certifications you're going to need to fly one of these things off our lot here. If we come over here into the tech, you are going to need piloting level 4 because this is a Class C ship as always. Can't let you fly it off the lot without that. You're also going to need Starship Design level 40 for some of these things. Got to be certified to operate some of these high-end reactors and stuff. If you're not though, we do have lesser versions that we can sell you. Easy peasy, and you can upgrade later for cheap. And you're also going to need to be level 60 to buy some of these specific modules, but again, we do have lower versions if you are not quite there yet, and we'll upgrade you for the cheap later. Now that we've got all those pesky certifications and requirements out of the way, let us actually take a look at the Dark Saber here. Just check out this gorgeous ship and the power she emits and the feelings she has. If we come stand down here, we get my favorite view of this entire ship. It just feels grand and powerful and like almost kind of sinister when you're walking up on in here. You just feel like a powerful person, like you want a red carpet to roll out for you when you're walking up this thing with this beautiful experimental weapon system we have right here dead center. It's just absolutely gorgeous. If we come around here, you're going to see some more very distinctive lines on the outside of the Dark Saber here. Just check it out with these double blade of armor packages here, the weapon systems on the outside to protect you from all angles. And then you've got the little scan jammer hidden in here. You've got some sloped arm here to deflect rounds away from your engine. We come across here, we have two of the top of the line, some of the biggest and baddest weapons you can, and protective weapon housings on the back. Because we know that the police and the pesky patrols that you heroes like to get in trouble with like to fly with wingmen. They try and flank you. Enemies are always trying to come up behind you, and you aren't privileged enough as a hero to have a wingman, so you need to cover your own butt, and we've got you covered with these things. Anyone that tries to sneak up behind you will get obliterated with the size of these guns back here. As normal, we put the beautiful little pinch reactor back here, so easy jettison. If anything happens, it will be completely covered under warranty. Don't have to trouble yourself with that. Don't fret about it, some would say. Come around here, you just get to see these beautiful exterior lines here again. Just looks so good on the outside with these double-plated reactors here. And we've got the patented self-sealing radiator technology right under the armor in this ship as well. So no matter what, you'll always be running at max cooling. If we can jump up top here, and we have that wonderful Deimos cockpit that Dig Industries is so well known for. We're trying to innovate here, so instead of sticking it up in the front like everyone else does, we tucked it all the way back here in this beautifully protected position with still very good field of view and just a wonderful place to engage your enemies from, but stay safe yourself. Let's come back here. You can see we have these huge radiator packages with the patented Dig Industries technology for self-sealing containment if they do get ruptured to maintain maximum cooling power. We have redundant radiators strapped all over this ship on both sides and down the middle and on the bottom as well to make sure that when you are fighting outnumbered, because we know you heroes like to get into some crazy ass trouble, you will always have maximum cooling and power to your weapons and engines, and you can run everything in overdrive as long as possible. But we're going to end where we started here, of just this view. This walk up to this ship just feels so good. You can just RP walk up in this thing and it feels so menacing and powerful and strong. And it's one of the most heroic looking ships and feeling ships that I've had when you're walking towards your bay. Really nice. We've got Vasca here always protecting Dig Industries, patented, just revolutionary technology. Everyone's like Ryogen Industries, they keep trying to come in here and steal our stuff, but we don't let them. Let's move into the interior tour in here. We're gonna start with, you have two 2x1 Habs, 4 3x1 Habs, 1 2x2 Hab in here. So a nice mixing, meandering of Habs here that you don't normally get in many ships, especially not in Dig Industry ships. We're going to start this tour by taking you right here into the infirmary, right near the bloating bay, because we know your companions, they just can't keep up with you heroes sometimes and they need some treatment, but a hero would never need any treatment. We also have a pharmaceutical lab and a research bench in here. Coming through here, we move into a workstation so you can do on-the-fly repairs of your ship in combat, post-combat, after combat. On the surface, you can repair another ship. You can repair anything you could possibly want in this place with an industrial workbench, a second research lab in case you don't know how, you can figure out how to fix it really quick, a space workbench, and you also have a weapons workbench. Then if we keep on coming up here, we've got one ladder. Let's jump up here into the first 3x1 engineering base. This is where we house some of the engine components, and if you gotta do maintenance up here, it's super easy to access. You don't have to climb through any vents or anything like that in many other ships. There's a giant fly that landed on my desk that has distracted me as we come through here. We're gonna move into the first of the living quarters here. This is where like recreation likes to happen. People just hang out in bed. You got beautiful TV here. For whatever reason, these people love monitoring the systems of the ship and the scans on the ship. We come through here, you've got a beautiful little lounge, a beautiful galley to cook and eat at. I've got two little bunk beds here if people want to take a nap in here. It's beautiful stuffed animals. We know you guys are hard in combat, but you can be soft in bed. It makes no sense whatsoever, but you got a lift iron, so we definitely got the workout things here. I don't know why they have this gen so far up in the shelf to where the fact you can't even use the darn thing. We're gonna have to talk to the crew about that. When we come through here, we have a lot of recreational stuff going on, and we need to hire a maid or get one of the crew in here to clean this up, because this is kind of a mess here. Got dirty pots jammed in the stove. What is falling here? Our vending machine, it seems to be broken. We're gonna have to bring maintenance here and fix that. Don't worry, we'd refund you credits if that happened on your ship as well. If we walk all the way back through here, we're gonna take a right, go back through the infirmary, come across. The ship is almost symmetrical on both sides, but we're gonna walk into the combat and control area of this ship. This is a hardened position, and this thing has enough stations to monitor everything going on. You top of the line sensor suites here, top of the line armor packages protecting this room. It would take literally like a Death Star to get into this cockpit here, or this combat control. We jump up here, we're gonna have our second engineering bay here. Again, just easy access. We're not gonna make your crew crawl through panels or anything like this. This is a combat ship. It is meant to take a beating, and we want easy field repairs here, so we just made everything easily accessible up there. Coming out of the combat control, you have the primary bunks here. You've got 4 crew members for sleeping in shift. Very easy access to your combat control in case you get jumped or have some unexpected guests while you're trying to get some R&R. Coming here, they've got their own little galley, so you never have to walk too far away from combat control if you're currently on duty. And then the rest is just extra storage in here. Nice and simple navigating through this ship, nothing too crazy. Then if we come back through here, right up this one little ladder is going to be how do we get to the cockpit through these extra storerooms, because you can never have too many goods. Yeah, we're testing putting deployable combat robots in our ship, and this one seems to be malfunctioning slightly. But again, it's intimidating. If you came up the ladder and one of those things dropped down on you, I bet you would be surprised. That was supposed to not be. That's an experimental technology that I don't even know if I'm supposed to show. That might get censored out in the actual video. Coming up into the Deimos cockpit here, which we're also familiar with here at Dig Industries, we have this beautiful field of view for engaging your enemies in combat. Nothing will escape your line of sight. With the sensor suite here, you'll have no problems detecting protecting everything behind you as well. My personal favorite place on any of these ships is right here. This is where I love to sleep when I'm out in space on these cockpits. Just so beautiful at night looking out. Oh wait, it's space. It's always nighttime. Looking out at the stars and everything like that. But again, just your typical Deimos cockpit here with your navigation console in case you don't want to do that little chair animation, because we know how annoying that can be for you heroes. But we're going to jump on over now to the ship we're going to use to build this ship. Bam! Just like that, we are in the ship we are going to turn into the Dark Saber. I'm going to use this pitiful little Rambler 2, which you can buy at New Atlantis for 70,000 credits. Doesn't matter what ship you bring, I make all of these build guides in the anticipation or expectation that every single part on this ship is going to get deleted. We are building from absolute scratch. Some people have been commenting that if you go board a level C ship or a type C ship, you can actually save a little bit of credits by having some of the high-end systems already on the ship. So that might be a good suggestion if you want to do that. We're going to be making 3 shops on today's journey. The first one is going to be back to our old stomping ground, Sol. We're going to be heading over to Titan and Sol. Go into our map, double tap back out here, scroll up from Alpha Centauri right here, click on Sol. It's going to be in the top left. We're going to click on the Titan. We're going to rotate it around, click on New Homestead, and travel there to get our first massive shopping list. This is by far the largest ever shopping list. It's actually just one item we're buying here. I'm being dramatic.
I can understand wanting to honor or even celebrate history.
Oh, really?
But this may take it too far.
This guy's the nicest guy in the whole entire game. We're going to click on him. We're going to go into shipbuilder here. Now you're going to buy this singular item on your list. And you're going to buy 8 of them, actually. So you should pause the game now. And if you haven't paused it, maybe you want to pause it. We're going to cut this down a little. So hopefully you paused it. Now that you've bought these items, you should have 8 NG20 landing gear. Just for reference, after every single shopping list, I will do this top-down thing for milling. It just looks really good and it's clean. Let you double check that you've got all the right parts. Now, we're actually going to do something different here. We're actually going to take one of these. We're going to hit the arrow key twice or once over, and we're going to transform these into the NG20 landing gear wides. I'm going to do this for all 8 of these because this makes these things so much easier to transport, which we'll get right into here. Now that we've done that, you should have 8 of these things just like this. And we are now going to make these things fit on whatever ship you brought, because we are just going to be transporting these from one location to another. So I'm going to Frankenstein my ship for you guys, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Now you can see here, I just threw all mine right onto the side of the ship, and I had to buy a Nova Galactic Storm. So if you have to buy some extra bits just to make all of these bees fits, don't hesitate to do so. This is some of the harder part of this. But we're just going to fly this Frankenstein ship around because it's one of the fun parts of making these build guide videos. So we're going to back out of here and head off to our next stop, if the game would allow me to back out. I'm going to double tap the map here. We're going to be heading to the Red Mile. It's going to be all the way over here in Parima. I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, but you guys will see what I'm clicking on. Then we're going to Parumaya 3. Gets worse every time I make one of these videos. I think the first time I said it right, and ever since then we've absolutely butchered it. We're going to click on the Red Mile and click land. And we're going to head on down here to the Red Mile. This is being a long loading screen for some reason. Once we arrive at the Red Mile, we're going to jump on up over this nice little geological feature they have right here. Come to this front door of the beautiful Red Mile as advertised. Get yelled at by a guard. Oh, because I called you out, you're not going to be a dick this time. Touche. The guards here, they got mouths on them, and they make you just want to come here and kill some folk, unfortunately. Cycle these long airlock doors. Red Mile, dare to run. Come on through here, you're going to come up here, you're going to see a ship service desk with no one at it, but he's actually in his back office, so you're going to open up this door. You're going to come through here and talk to this wonderfully beautiful gentleman, the most handsome man in all the settled systems. We're going to come in here, and then you're going to purchase this beautiful shopping list on you. This one's quite long, but not unwieldy. So once you've bought all this stuff, we're continuing this up, so you should pause it. And if you haven't paused it, you should definitely pause it now. Hopefully you paused like an old Walkman, maybe a TV, a recorder, a pause button, a CD player. Now that you've bought all those parts, you should have some schmeandering of parts that look something like this. You should have 4 equipment plates, 7 Tayo cowlings, 4 tops, 8 Stroud nose cap C port forwards, 2 Stroud cap A port 4 tops, 1 Hope Tech thruster, 4 Hope Tech radiators, 4 Hope Tech pipe 4s, 1 100 cm ballast shielded cargo hold, 1 scan jammer, 6 SAL 6830 engines. And you should have 1 J52 Gamma Grav drive, 2 Tayo companionway 1x1 bottom A's, 1 Pinch 8Z reactor. Now we're going to do the same thing we did last time and make all these parts just fit on the ship over here. And again, you might have to buy some extra stuff because this Frankenstein ship is about to get crazy. And just like that, we fit all these things on here. You have to make sure you delete your reactor, your jump drive, all of your old engines, or you're going to get flight errors here. Make sure all your engines are gone. I've seen some people complain about it in the comments. You have to make sure they're all deleted. I actually had to buy some extra fuel tanks here because I'm not going to have the jump range to make it to the next destination, which we're going to head to now. We're going to back out of here, make sure we've got no flight checks, or we'll get some errors here. We're going to head all the way back to Salt. It is nice to see you, you beautiful man. The most handsome man in all the systems right there. We're going to jump back out here. We're going to come all the way across here to Sol again. And we're going to be heading to Deimos this time around Mars. That's this little asteroid right here. We're going to set a course and plot away. Now this beautiful soulless loading screen here, because who doesn't love these? And yeah, we're going to see you guys when this loading screen ends. Just like that, we're out of the loading screen and we are flying the Frankenstein ship all the way to Deimos Station. This is my favorite part of all these build guides. It's how often do you get to fly a ship like this around? I should just make a ship like this and just fly it around everywhere. Oh, thank you. What a pleasant welcoming they just gave us there. Now that we are on board, we would be running straight forward, following this little pathway here. Then we're going to take a little bit of left, a little bit of right, a little bit of left, a little bit of right. Push our way right in between those two ladies very, very rudely and talk to this beautiful shiny-headed man. Would like to modify? We're going to click on the ship builder here and come on in. Now, instead of me just throwing up a shopping list, this ship has almost maximum parts again. So you're going to have to delete every single piece of your old ship and all the other extra pieces you picked up to get this ship here. And you're going to need to, it's not a big deal if you delete one of the pieces by accident, because you can just go back into the store and rebuy it here. That's how it happens. If you delete a piece, it just goes to the vendor to be able to be repurchased. But you want to make sure you delete everything that you didn't buy specifically for this build off your own ship, because this ship has 1 extra part space available after you complete these shopping lists. So now on your screen, you should have a beautifully long shopping list. This is 1 of 2. There will be another one after this. So you should definitely pause it here, take a screenshot, maybe pause it. And if you haven't paused it, you should pause it a little bit more, then pause it some more. And then if you haven't paused it, you can pause it. And then, yeah, rewind if you missed it. And now, here's shopping list number 2. It's a little bit shorter, but you can pause it here, and then you can definitely pause it, and pause it a little bit more, and then pause some more. Have a good pause session in you. Okay, hopefully you're paused. Let's get into this. Now, after purchasing that extremely long shopping list, you should have 1 Assurance SG 1800 shield generator, 6 Deimos Wing C ports, 10 Deimos Wing B ports, 12 Deimos Wing A ports, 4 Deimos Spine C4s, 6 Deimos Spine A4s, 2 Deimos radiators, 2 Deimos Hull A's, 3 Deimos Cowling -4s, 4 PBO 300 auto alpha turrets, 4 PBO 100 auto neutron turrets, and 4 PB 175 helium beams. You can use whatever weapons you want. These are just personal preference. I like the way these look on this ship. 120 LD landing bay, 6 Galleon S204 cargo holds, 1 DS40.2 Ares bridge, 1 110 DP Docker top, 3 500 THE3 tanks, 1 Deimos battle station 2x2, 2 Deimos companionway 1x1s, 4 Deimos all-in-one bursts 3x1, and 2 Deimos all-in-one bursts ×2. Now I'm going to separate all these out and completely mill this here, and then I will show you guys a top-down view. So if you want to mill this the same way I do, can all be on the same page. And here you go, the milling is done. If you want to try and align your parts kind of like this, it's up to you. It would make it easier to follow. So if you want to pause it here for just like a minute and maybe try and arrange some of your parts like this, you'd have a much easier time following the build. So yeah, you should pause it here. And if you haven't, you can rewind, we can pick this up. So we're just gonna jump right into this and start the crafting of this ship. First, we're going to start with the DS40.2 Ares bridge. I'm just gonna throw it up top here, rotate it around, because this is how I'm familiar building this ship. Then we're going to try and finish the mid layer here first, starting with the first 2 Deimos companionways. We're going to bring these over here. Going to be these the companionway 1x1s. So we're going to stack these on top of each other, just like so here. You can see how it's this, and then they're coming straight out the back, and we're going 1 down. Then we're going to grab our battle stations 2x2, and we're going to stick it on the blower one here. It's like this, so you can see it's the back right corner stuck to here off the left side, sticking forward. Speaking of which, I am a little bit too close to where we have milled out because this is going to shoot out in a long direction and forward us. Now we're going to grab 2 of our Deimos all-in-one berth 2x2s. I'm going to take the first one and I'm going to transform this into an infirmary if you want to follow my build exactly. We're going to stick this coming out here just like this, sticking right out the front. We're basically going to match this 2x2, but we're going to do it with 2x1s. Then we're going to take this one, we're going to transform it into a workstation by hitting the arrow keys on the keyboard. So now we have an infirmary and a workstation. You can see how they're both sticking out the front right, mirroring this side exactly. Then we are going to grab all 4 of our things here. I'm just going to bring them to our workstation. If you can't grab all 4, you can do one at a time. It's all good. We're going to transform this one into the living quarters, if you want to follow my build exactly. Then we're going to take another one, and we're going to transform this into the all-in-one berth, 3x1. You're going to see here that they're sticking out the front, just like this, off to this left and off to the right here. This gap here, there's going to be 1, 2, 3 technical slots in the middle here. And yeah, just 6 forward, just like that. Then we're going to take the next 2, and I'm going to transfer these into an engine bay A. I'm going to stick it here, and I'm going to do the same on this side. We're going to do this one in engine bay B. Why? Because why not have it an A and a B? Because we can. And you can see here that they're sticking off the back, sticking up just like this, almost kind of sort of like Star Trek Enterprise, just like so. Super nice, simple, easy, give you guys some good views here. And then we're going to grab 2 of our Galleon S204 cargo holds. We're going to bring these over here. We're then going to take these and we're going to stick them down here because perpetual chaos, we don't do anything in any proper order here. We're going to stick these so they're hanging off the back just like so. Then we're going to come around, we're going to grab 2 of our fuel tanks here, these 500 T30 tanks. And then we're going to stick those right in front of those here, just like this. So it's symmetrical on both sides, where you go like companionway to, well, this isn't companion, this is a workstation, to fuel tank, to cargo hold, just like this on both sides. Super nice and simple. Then we're going to grab our J52 Gamma jump drive, and we're going to stick it right on the back of the ship. And then we're going to grab our Pinch 8Z reactor and stick it right on the back of that. You can see how it's perfectly lined up with these 2 Deimos companionways, so they're back to back just like that. Then we're going to zoom out here and we're going to grab 2 more of our cargo holds, and those are going to go right here in this slot, tucking away right here in the middle here, so you can see here that they're on the lower part. If we get the camera angle up here, zoom in. These are going to be on the inside of the J52 Gamma drive, just like this, but on the lower part of it, so the top is still free. We're going to grab our 2 Stroud Cap A Port 4 tops all the way over here. I'm going to bring them down to the workstation, and we're going to stick these to the front of the ship, and that one did not stick properly, so I'm going to rotate this around, get this one here. Now we're going to stick these here. You can see how they're attached to the front, but we're a little bit close to our workstation or our milling area, so we're going to move this back a little bit. Right here, and I might actually grab this whole ship and bring it up one. I think I want to do that and make it a little bit easier to work on here and redo this underside. Now we are going to grab 2 of our Stroud Nose Cap C Port 4s, and we're going to stick those directly underneath the 2 bits we just attached to the ship. I'm going to hit Z to transform it and rotate it around. You'll see what we've got going on here. They're dead even and paired up with each other, just like so. Now that we've got those attached, we're going to come over here and we're going to grab landing gears. I'm just going to grab all of them and bring to my workstation so it's a little bit easier. We're going to put the first one right behind these 2. You can see it's going to be just like so, like that. Then we are actually going to grab our Glass 2 Galleon S204 cargo bins. I'm going to bring them in. That's going to go right behind each one of these landing gears on both sides, mirrored just like so. We can get a good camera angle here. It goes the Stroud nose cap into landing gear into cargo. Then we're going to take another landing gear. We're going to put that right behind that on both sides. So you can see here how that is, just lined up just like so. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to grab our 110 DP Docker top. We're going to flip it around using the Z key to make it point straight down. I'm going to come in and we're going to statch it behind this landing gear on the right hand side. Then I'm going to take a Deimos Hull A just to mirror it on the other side here. It serves no function other than to look mirrored on both sides. Really, really nice looking. Then we're going to grab another NG20 landing gear and smack it right behind there. Apparently we're going into the smack thing again. We're going to mirror that on both sides. Then we're going to double that up with another NG20 landing gear, just like so. So it goes your Stroud nose cap, landing gear, cargo, landing gear, Deimos Docker and or Hull A, depending on which side you are on. Then 2 NG20 landing gears that's mirrored on both sides, just like so. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to grab our 2 Tayo companionway 1x1 bottom A's, bring them into the workspace, and that's going to be taking up this final, whoa, I couldn't even begin to tell you where that just yeeted itself off to into the ether. We're going to attach these 2 to the bottom right here, just like this. So that's going to complete this entire row with the 2 landing gear, followed up by a tile companionway right at the bottom. Then we are going to grab our 120 LP landing bay. We're going to try and get this to snap right, not in the little pocket, but right on this Deimos companionway 1x1. So there's actually going to be a gap in between the cockpit like this. It's going to be this weird gap, and we'll fill that in due time. But for now, the Deimos landing bay is just like so. Then we're going to grab our last 500 THE3 tank. We're going to come down here, try and pan around the camera, get a little bit crazy with it, because we all know how much we love building underneath. That's going to go right behind the Deimos landing bay like this, super nice and simple. And then we're going to grab our shielded cargo hold, the 100 cm ballast shielded cargo hold. That's going to stick right on the end at the bottom down here. Get the camera to pan around properly. Slide it in. Oh, and he misses. Sometimes you can't always find it on the first try. We're going to put that right there. Now we're going to come up here. We're going to grab 2 of our tile cowling foretops. We're going to flip these over so they are now facing upwards. And those are going to attach right to the bottom of these cargo bays right here, like so. That's not the right spot. Right there. Working underneath is absolutely toxic in this game, but it works. We are going to grab 2 of the Hope Tech radiators here. I had to pause there for a second and try and figure myself out and do the order of things. And these are going to go on top of these cargo containers that we just put these tile cowlings on. Then I'm going to grab 2 more. And these are going to go right in front of it, just like so. Zoom in here just so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. You've got the reactor completely sticking out the back. Then you've got reactors here and reactors here. Now we should actually be able to attach all 6 of our engines. Actually, before we can attach those engines, we're going to need 4 of these Stroud nose cap seaport forwards. So I'm just going to yank 4, bring them into the workstation. And we're going to be sticking these onto the side like so. I will zoom in a second, but at first I'm just going to mirror these to both sides. Come down here. These are going to go on the forward part of the Deimos Engineering BA 3.1. There's actually this one gap sticking out. It's going to match the distance of these radiators over here. These are where our engines are going to go, and then there's going to be the bit sticking out the back here on these. So make sure we do that, and I just mirrored it on this side. You can see the orientation right here. It's not all the way down, but it's on these upper 2 right here. Now we're going to grab all 6 of our engines, and I'm just going to bring them into the workstation just like so. And if you can't, it's all good. You can do one at a time, and we're just going to start attaching engines. We're going to put one on the far outside edge just like so. You can see here how it's perfectly lined up with these 2 big old flarings right here. Then we're going to grab these 2 engines, and they're going to go down here on the bottom just like this. You can see that are attached to this. We're going to have just the radiator sticking out the top. They're in par with this, lined up with the tile cowling, lined up with the Galleon S204 cargo hold. We're going to take these 2 engines, and we're going to bring them up here just like this. I am live streaming this, so if there's like a little incoherency, that's what's going on. We're up here doing this. So now these are attached to the radiators here, and there's going to be this open top spot, which we'll fill out later here. But you can see how these are lined up in orientation. So that should be all 6 engines. This should be your profile from behind. And we're going to grab 4 more of these tile cowling foretops. We're going to bring them into the workstation, and we're going to set up these little gun pods in the back. We're actually going to transform these so they flip around and they're facing the reverse way by using the arrow keys. And then we're going to snap one of these to the top just like this. So there's this nice little like space in between with the cargo thing just like that. I'm going to do the same on this side up here, like so. Smack this around, flip it around. Here we are saying smacked again, and it makes me smile every time I say it now. Now that we've got those set up, we are going to grab 2 of our equipment plates. I'm going to bring those back here, and we're going to stick those right in the middle, just like this. And these are going to be our rear weapon placements. Then I'm going to grab 2 of the PBO 300 Auto Alpha turrets, and usually I save the weapons to one of the last things, but we're back here working on this. We might as well finish it up. Rotate these around so they're facing back, just like this. You can see these are our rear-facing turrets, because a big old battleship needs some nice rear-facing turrets just like this. Anyone tries to sneak up on you, they're going to have a bad, bad day. It should be the back of the ship almost completed. We should take our one last tile cowling foretop. We're going to raise it up. You have to rotate around, transform it. We realize it can't actually stick there where it's supposed to be. Then I'm going to grab a Deimos Hull A, because perpetual chaos exists. We're going to stick it right here in the middle. So this is going to be above your J52 Gamma drive right here. And then we're going to take a Deimos Cowling 4 and stick it to the front of that right there. Now we're going to attach our tile cowling aft top to the back of this Deimos Hull A, just like this. And that should be the end of the back of the ship. Nice and simple. You can see some orientation here. If I pan around, zoom around, you can check it out here. That's the orientation you're looking. It should be right above the cockpit, just like so. Nice little sloped angle right there. Now we're going to grab our last two Deimos cowling 4s. We're going to bring them forward. I'm going to attach one here, rotate around, and I'm going to do the next one right over here, just like this. You can see how they're at the end of the Deimos engineering base, sloping these down into our long arms sticking out the front here. Then we're going to grab our last two Shroud nose cap seaport forwards. I grabbed them and moved them before I even read their name. And these are actually going to stick right here. Now I'm going to take this one, I'm going to hit Z to rotate it around and stick it in here. So you can see how it's lined up with the back two of these Deimos all-in-one berths on this side. These two slots here attached to this Deimos infirmary, and this one's attached to the battle station here. They kind of create this slope in that feeds into this open hole we have right there, which we might as well fill right now before it gets even harder to do. So we're going to grab our Hope Tech thruster, we're going to bring it around here, and we're going to stick it in the hole, just like that. Hopefully get it on the first try. It's important sometimes, and definitely not the wrong one. Now that we're here, we are going to say IRP that's like an experimental weapon or something. I wish I could glitch the weapons in there if I really wanted to in the back so they actually shoot out the front. But that's kind of my RP there. It's really cool, like charge up cannon or something, like a death beam is my RP. We're then going to grab our Assurance SG 1800 shield generator. We're going to stick it on up on top, just like this on the very tippity top. Some people might want to glitch that in. It's not the best thing looking up there, but I try and do as few glitches as absolutely possible. Now we're going to grab our last two equipment plates, and these are going to go on the back mountings on the Shroud nose cap Cs that are right in front of your engines here. I'll pan around and give you guys some better orientation when we get there. These are going to snap in right here, just like this. You can see it's mirrored on both sides where it goes engine, then straight into this equipment plate. And then we're going to take our last two PPO 300 auto big guns, and I'm going to spit all over my monitor because I've been talking too much, and we're going to rotate these around to be facing forward right here. This perpetual chaos means I don't do anything in any proper order ever. And then we're going to grab two of our Spine A's, 4s, and we're going to attach these to the front of these pods right up here. So like this Deimos 4 cowling kind of slopes right up into them right here. You can see what I'm talking about. I am at height 11 with super zoom in. That would be why the camera is very, very twitchy. So we bring the camera down, you can see right here just like this. Those are going to slope into that. I zoom around, come over here, we're going to grab two more. We're actually going to be placing all these here really shortly. I'm going to hit Z to transform these, and then these are going to snap onto the back here right in front of this Tao cowling. Then we're going to grab our two radiators. Our Deimos radiators. We're going to come up here and attach these right in between the two bits we just put down on both sides. In a second here, we'll zoom in here and I'll show you some better orientation. So it's like this one slopes up into here, this one slopes down to there. We put a little radiator right in between the two. This looks really nice and sleek and also adds like just a good cooling effect to your engines, even though there's no actual effect to it. Then we're going to grab our last two Deimos Spine A4s, bring them over here, and then these are going to attach to the front of the little arm bits sticking off the ship up here. You can see that they're sticking right out the front, and they're right behind the Shroud Cap A on the very first Deimos living quarters 3x1s here, and that's what those are going to do. And then we're going to grab all four of these actually. I'm just going to bring these into our workstation. Our Deimos Spine C4s. We're going to come on up here, attach that one there. We're going to mirror that to the other side like so. So the big part is into the big part and the little part sticking out the end. We're going to take these, we're going to hit Z to rotate them. So it's little bit to little bit, touch the tips some might say. This is just getting inappropriate, but this is an evil ship anyway, so the stream can go a little places. Now we're actually mirrored over here on this side, just like this. So it's the big end touching the big end, a little time, tiny little time. It's like that, and then they flow all together into this, and it just has this nice flowing look right across, and it gives us some nice place to attach some of our weapons. Now we're going to get into the really, really fun bit of attaching all 12 of these Deimos wings. We're going to start with one. It's going to attach to the top right there. I'm going to start another one, and it's going to go right below it. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see what we did here. These are attached right here to these Deimos living quarters. They do not extend out over the Shroud Cap A's or the Shroud Nose Cap C. And then we are going to grab two more. We're going to come over here and we are going to mirror these things on this side by hitting Z to flip them around, doing the two down, just like that. And I'm going to grab four of these if I can. Game's a little bit picky about that. We're going to come in here and I'm going to bring these to a workstation. We're going to move these and we're going to place these on the inside like so. I'll zoom in and orientate here. But these ones are actually going to stick into the Shroud Cap A just like this. And they're only going to be attached on the back to this Deimos all-in-one by one spot right here. Then we're going to grab these other two and we're actually going to offset these. I'll show you what I mean by offset these in a second once they're done. Bring both in, and we get you to snap in. So this is going to add that like menacing sloping feature when you're coming into this, like this funneling everything into this center power point you got right here. And you can see how they're offset. So there's going to be this one gap across this Stroud nose cap C. It's just going to be empty, and then these are going to attach right behind it. So it'll be attached to a landing gear and a cargo bay, just like so underneath here. I know it gets really wonky when we're starting to work underneath things, but that's what we're going to be looking at right there. Now we're going to come over here and grab the next two. I'm going to snap these on the outside of the ship. We're going to come around here. Oh boy, another piece that got yeeted off into the ether. I guess we're going to bring these closer to where we're actually going to apply it so the game doesn't freak out. But we are super, super low on the positioning. We're going to flip it around, and I'm going to transform it so it's facing rear like so. See if I can get a good angle of this. This is going to attach down here to this landing gear, that NG20 landing gear like this, because there's not actually a snap point on the side of this tile companionway for it to go to, but we're going to snap the back way so it still covers it even though it's only attached here at this NG landing gear wide. That's what we're going to do. Then we're going to take this one, we're going to transform it into a rear facing, and I'm going to mirror that on this side just like so. And get it to snap in. Yes, we can. Just like that is what we're looking at. I'll pan in a little bit better so you can see it. I know working underneath the ship sucks, but it's what we got to do. Now we're going to come around and we should have two more of these. We're going to try and fit these right here in the middle. Just bring them into the workstation, pan around so we're staring at the bottom of the ship. I'm going to transform these into rear facing. Then we're going to bring these down, and these are going to snap right here like so. I will zoom in and try and give you guys a better angle because I know this is a little bit crazy under here. But these are going to go attached to the Docker module and this landing gear right in front of this tile cowling, not merged into it, but one right in front of it. So there's a one space gap in between the one we attached on the front and the one we attached here. Should be this landing gear gap. So now if we come out here, we can start attaching some of these pretty little radiators to the ship. First one is going to attach right behind this very first Deimos cowling up here. Deimos wing A, it's not a cowling. And it's going to attach right next to that one. Gonna mirror it on this side like so. Nah, pan around just because I like giving you guys the view, and apparently I already grabbed another one, so well, we have it grabbed by accident. We will take it, we'll flip it, and it's gonna come right down here like so. So it's actually going to be in line with the front of these Strode nose cap C's right here. It's going to be attached directly to the Deimos A wing in the very, very back. I just like the offset look of these radiators, so they're not in a line or anything right here. It looks really, really nice. We're going to flip around, we're going to grab one of these. So I'm going to put one in the exact same spot down here. Zoom in so you guys can see it again. It's in line with these Stroud caps, and it is in line attached to the Deimos A right here and blend into each other really, really nice. I'm going to grab these last two, put them in the workstation, and these are going underneath the ship like so into this one little gap we made here in between these two Deimos A wings. Attach that landing gear. It should be the only place down here that doesn't have something attached to it. Just has this really nice sloping, so like all this funnels into your boarding area, but then it fans back out, but then those towelings, it's just a really good angling and sloping in here. It just looks really powerful when you're walking up on the ship. If we come around, we should have 10 of these wonderful Deimos wing Bs. We're just going to grab a few, bring it a little closer to the workstation. We're going to flip it around. The first one we're going to put right behind the Deimos cowling C we just put up top here like this. You can see it's in line. Just kind of finishes off. There's going to be a little gap here, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Take another one, and we're going to take it, put it down below, grab another one, put it down below. To finish off this entire run of this wing right here, see, just like that, just polishes it up, finishes it off, looks really, really nice. And we're going to mirror that on this side as well. This one's going to go here. We're going to put the two down below, like so. So the bottom wing should now be completely finished all the way across. And then the top one still has this little gap here, but again, we'll talk about that in a minute. Now that we have those wingy bits on, we are going to grab our two turrets. I'm going to rotate them. One is going to go on the top, the very back part here, right in front of this cowling. The other one we are going to yeet into oblivion, grab it again, rotate Z, come on down here. We're going to get this to mount upside down on the bottom in line with this right here. Now we're going to grab the other two. I'm going to do the same on this side, just like this. Come on in, rotate it around so it's facing forward, attach to the top, rotate this one. Come on down, get it to snap to the bottom. So again, they're in line with each other, just one on the top, one on the bottom. Now we're going to grab two of these PB175s, bring them over here. The first one is going to go in the middle of this cowling up here. the back of these two options, so it's on the back Deimos spine C, but the front part of it. Then the next one we're going to grab, and it's going to try and snap it right here upside down in this front Deimos A wing. And I like it upside down because I think it actually gives better lines having this little gap behind it with the way you're mostly looking at your ship. Not having it attached down here just looks really, really nice. We're going to grab the other two and we're going to mirror them on the other side. Bring this over here into the workstation. Bring this one in as well. Bring it up so it's attached to the back of the two options here. Then we're going to flip this one, and sometimes these can get a little finicky, and if it does, you can always rip this off, move it aside, then get it to snap into place and put this back. I've had to do that a few times in some of my dry runs. And just like that, all 12 weapons are attached to the ship. Now we've still got a few bits left. But first, we're going to attach this scan jammer. I personally love hiding these things because they're illegal tech, and I don't think authorities would really appreciate you having them. So for RP sakes, I just usually find like the most tucked away position I could possibly find that's not glitched into this ship. Now we're going to talk about the parts we have left. Every single part we have left needs to get glitched into the ship. Glitching into the ship is very, very simple to do. It doesn't break anything. You're not risking anything. It doesn't delete your ship. It doesn't cause any errors. It doesn't cause any problems. So if you are uncomfortable doing glitches, you can yeet all these pieces out of oblivion and just fly this thing around this way. I personally am not a super fan of the way these radiators kind of fade in here without these bits. So I'm going to show you these bits. And they come in here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and explain this the simplest I can. It's super easy. So I am going to click on this so it is selected. I'm going to hit spacebar so I can move it with my mouse over it. So now I've hit spacebar and it's just attached to my mouse. And if I come over here and put it into place, and then I hit Z twice, and then I'm going to hit the escape key on my keyboard. It actually snaps into there, and you can now see it's actually attached and part of the ship. Now I'm going to grab all three of these and bring them into the workstation. I'll show you again. So I'm going to mouse over this thing. I'm going to hit spacebar. So now it's attached to my mouse. Come up here and just hit Z once and Z twice, hit escape. And then it's just immediately in there. It's that easy to do on a mouse and keyboard. If you're on a controller, it should be like, I think it's A to select something, Y to rotate it, and B to deselect. I don't actually know the key commands on controller because I've never used one. But just for orientation, the first one went here right in front of these two radiators and kind of clips into the Deimos bridge a little bit, but it's not too bad, and it looks really, really good on the outside. You don't really notice it on the inside. The one back here goes to the top of this engine and clips into this radiator, and I just think it looks really, really good. It lines up damn near perfectly. Just a really, really good greebly. And we're going to mirror that on the other side. Again, I just hit spacebar with my mouse over it. I hit Z twice, hit escape, and it clips right in just like that. Super, super, super simple. We're going to come in here, and I'm going to do the same here. So it's mirrored now, and I just think that looks so much cleaner back there like that. And now we have these four pieces. These four pieces are going to go into these spots here to close up these little gaps. If these gaps don't bother, you can just delete these. And this will actually give you 5 pieces to work with because we're almost at part cap. But if you leave all these on here, we only have one more extra part you could add to customize the ship yourself without having to delete something. So we're going to do the same thing where I hit spacebar on this. I dragged it in here. I hit Z to transform it twice. Then I just hit escape and it clips right in. So spacebar, mouse it to where we want it. Then Z twice, hit escape. Super, super simple. Little glitch that lets you do a lot of things in this game. Put it here, ZZ. Oh, but see how it attached to the bottom? That's not quite right. We're going to come back in here and try a little bit higher. Do ZZ. Ooh, we're having some struggle buses on this one. What is it attaching to down here? Do we have something not attached? Ah. So this didn't get attached. So if I just space anything else, I'm double clicking on my whole ship. The builder gets a little weird with detached modules. Apparently this one didn't take either, so I'm going to come up here and fix this. The ZZ escape on it again. Now it's actually attached to the ship. Magically, these things... This is becoming a bigger problem on PC. Hopefully you guys on console don't have to deal with this as much. What are you attaching to that's not attached? There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to come back here, spacebar on this, put it right here, ZZ, hit escape. I like showing that I have to deal with these bugs too, because some people like find it really comforting that like even I am struggling with some of the things that they struggle with. So we're going to put this in here, ZZ it. Ah, apparently this one is deattached too. How come, game? ZZ, tag it in just like that. So I'm guessing flight check error, ship has weapon sign, and ship has unattached modules. So we're going to double click on my entire ship. Find the unattached part, hit spacebar, reattach, spacebar, reattach. Those two showed as unattached. They are still unattached, so take off, put back, take off, put back. Now they are fully attached. Apparently these cargo modules aren't attached. That was actually the problem with the other bits. And still have unattached modules somewhere. Ha! Towel cowling has become unattached. It's really, really fun here. Now, after struggling to reattach everything to the ship, everything is reattached to the ship, and we are now down to just the assigned weapons error here. So if we go into flight check, go to weapons, I like to assign the PB-175 helium beam as my primary, because that is the only actual gun we have, so it's a nice left click. And these other two don't per se matter, so you can put them in either slot. They are literally just turrets. They will exist, fire, shoot into space, and do things. Now your ship is completed. Now we're going to double click on this, and you can hit J to paint this whole thing, or you can custom paint to whatever color you want. I would love to see what you guys paint. If you check out in the description below, there's a Discord link, and I probably posted in the comments as well. And I've got a channel in there where you can share your ships, and it'd be wonderful to see what you guys actually come up with and do. And just like that, through the magic editing, my ship is painted. I am going to throw up all 3 paint swabs here, and you can try and match these the best if you really want to match my ship 100% just like this. That was recommended in comments, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to do it here. You guys can see them up here. And now we're going to talk about my stats a little bit here and my skills to get these stats. This shield stat 3520, this has changed like 5 times throughout the recording of this video. There's just some problems with it accurately calculating. I was expecting it to be 3200 because of my skills, and then if I go to my crew here, you can see that I do have Omar and I do have Vasco, and these two do stack sometimes, and there's a bug, and that with the shield skill level 3 of your own should equal 3200 shields, but it's not. So that's just going to fluctuate. I'm going to advertise that it's 3200 shields, and I couldn't tell you why. Maybe I'll advertise the 3500, a little bit of clickbaity, but the game is just sporadic with your shields. There's a console bug for some people that you can't go above 1600 shields. So that's just the shield number. Everything else, you can see the crew I have here, and I will go over my stats real quick on my skills. If I can do this, go to crew, you can see here that I have like piloting 4, payload 4 for cargo. I have engine systems 4 for maneuverability and stuff. I have the particle beams. I have a lot of level 4 systems here. Same with over here for this thing, it's astrodynamics. This is the fuel jump range one here that'll make you have the 30 jump range even if you use a lesser jump drive to make the ship a little bit cheaper in the long run. If you decide to do that. So those are my skills that I have and my crew that I currently have on the ship to equal these skills, so you can match these if you want to, because I know a lot of people are confused why their numbers are so different than mine. And just like that, the ship is completed, and I really do appreciate you all stopping by checking out this build guide. Do me a huge favor, share this with all your friends, post it on Discord, maybe a little bit of Reddit love. You guys know how that is. A lot of work and effort goes into these, and I just love making them for you, and I appreciate it so much, all the support the channels are getting, and some blowing up. I've been streaming a lot more. It's really nice. You can check that out. In the description, I'll put a link to a Discord. I would love to see pictures of your ships when you complete them, modifications you made, the paint jobs you chose, anything like that. Really, really cool to see it, and just fun to join the community here. And yeah, I'm gonna see you all in the next one. Dig fig out. Thank you all again. It's awesome. Cards here. You should click on them. Do all the stuff. Bye.